this.
Hey there guys, what's going on and welcome back to our channel. Megalodon was the biggest and worst shark in the ocean 23 million years ago. It could grow up to 60 feet and its jaw bite was stronger than that of a T-Rex. It was a force to be reckoned with, eating other sharks, whales, and dolphins for breakfast. So you might think that there was nothing that could stop it, but even this massive shark had enemies of its own, and their fights could be lethal. Let's talk about the 6 biggest Megalodon enemies that ever existed. Number 6. Cedotherium. Cedotherium was a baleen whale from the Cedotheridae family. It lived in the mid-Miocene period to the early Pliocene period and grew up to 15 feet. Fossil records have revealed that Cedotherium would be Megalodon's top target. Megalodon would be massive compared to Cedotherium, but Cedotherium had a few tricks up its sleeve. The very first whales had pointy teeth for catching and killing other sea animals. Later on, Cedotheriums evolved and developed baleen, a strong and flexible material made of keratin that caught small organisms and worked as a strainer as it fed. The small organisms would have been caught in large enough quantities to keep Cedotherium satisfied. This would keep Cedotherium close to the surface and away from Megalodon. But when Cedotherium was spotted by Megalodon, there was literally no escape. The Megalodon would dive down to look up at its prey, and then it would ram Cedotherium at high speed, damaging its vertebrae in the process. The Cedotherium would be too stunned to be able to escape.
But when Cedotherium was spotted by Megalodon, there was no escape.
Number 5. Zygophyseter varolii. This large predator was unknown until geologists found an almost complete Zygophyseter varolii skeleton in 2016 on the shores of southern Italy. It's also referred to as a killer sperm whale because of its strong similarities in size to the killer whale and its close relationship to the sperm whale. Zygophyseter varolii lived in the late Miocene period, some 11 to 7 million years ago, and it cruised the Mediterranean region. It had an asymmetrical cranium, which is commonly associated with high-frequency sound production and echolocation. Zygophyseter varolii used its echolocation to find and hunt large prey. Their teeth could range from 6 to 10 inches, and they had 14 teeth in their lower jaw and 13 on top. Since their teeth were large and they had full jaw functionality, it's likely that they fed on large fish, dolphins, small whales, and cephalopods such as squids and octopi. Its lethal bite would have been its best chance against the Megalodon.
Just as fascinating is that we didn't even know that this animal existed until 2005.
Number 4. Olophoceter. Olophoceter was a predatory whale very similar to modern-day sperm whales. Sperm whales are the largest predators and the largest toothed whales today. Olophoceter lived in the Miocene period. Back then, the country of Panama was underwater and many species crossed from the east coast of North America to the west coast through a passageway. The passageway, called the Central American Seaway, was also a favorite travel spot for the Megalodon. Olophoceters reached a length of 20 feet and weighed about 2,400 pounds. With these specifications, anyone can see that Megalodon was much larger, but a low fighter would swim in groups to repel attacks by giant beasts such as Megalodon in the hopes of being protected by the group.
At about 25 million years ago, the kinds of whales that we saw in the ocean are different than we see today.
Number 3. Brigmophoceter shigensis. Brigmophoceter shigensis was a highly predatory sperm whale. The only known fossil is a nearly complete skeleton that's dated at 14 to 15 million years old. From it, paleontologists gather that Brigmophoceter shigensis was 23 feet long. Like Zygophyseter varolii, Brigmophoceter shigensis' header also had teeth in its upper and lower jaws. These powerful jaws and their size set them at the top of the food chain, and they roam near the coast of Japan. Like sperm whales, it had a spermaceti organ that gave it the ability to use echolocation to find and identify prey. Megalodons traveled all the way around the world as evidenced by the location of their fossils. Megalodon and Brigmophocetus swam the oceans at the same time. In the Miocene period, Brigmophocetus was a predator to fish, squid, and other small whales. But its role could switch from predator to prey when it faced the Megalodon.
They existed about 14 million years ago, but it is hard to estimate since only one has been found.
Number 2. Rhamphococus. Rhamphococus is one of the largest known crocodiles to ever roam the earth. The world wouldn't even be aware of the existence of Rhamphococus if it wasn't for the discovery of incomplete sets of fossils that are mostly teeth and skulls. Rhamphococus is estimated to have been 26 to 36 feet long. It inhabited the Indian subcontinent, and like the Megalodon, it lived in the Miocene period. It's a relative of the modern false gari, a native of peninsular Malaysia like false Korea. It's believed to have had a longer and thinner snout compared to other crocodiles. It also had multiple teeth to capture its prey. Theories suggest that Rhamphococus fed on fish and, on occasion, much larger prey. Rhamphococus was such an excellent swimmer thanks to its strong and long tail. Given its massive size, it would go into rivers and oceans to try and find enough food to sustain it. This is where it was likely to have occasionally encountered the Megalodon. Rhamphococus and Megalodon would have fought over the same food. Given Rhamphococus had such a long and strong bite, it would have been a big challenger to the Megalodon.
One of the biggest things to separate Rampho from modern crocodiles is its ability to swim like a true predator of the oceans.
Number 1. Livyonton Melville. People might know this whale by the name of Leviathan. Soon after researchers discovered Leviathan's fossils and assigned it the name Leviathan, they realized that the name had already been taken by a mastodon a century earlier. This caused the switch to the Hebrew spelling of Livyonton Melville. Now, Livyonton Melville and Megalodon were two of the most terrifying creatures to roam the oceans, and both lived during the Miocene period. Livyonton Melville was a whale that was over 60 feet long and weighed up to 50 tons. Its largest teeth were up to 14 inches long. A theory about Livyonton Melville's finding is that it was very similar to Megalodon's. It would dive deep and headbutt its prey at fast speeds, and its target would be other whales. Megalodon and Livyonton competed for the same food and fought over turf. They both preferred to feed on baleen whales like the Cetatherium that we mentioned earlier. Livyonton Melville had the longest teeth, but Megalodon had the strongest bite. They were both of a similar size and weight and had plenty of reasons to fight each other.
Most experts think, for a number of reasons, that the Livyonton would have come out victorious if this ever happened.
Regardless of whether these predators could win in a fight against Megalodon or not, their existence put a dent in Megalodon's lifespan. Megalodon was of such a massive size that it needed over 2,500 pounds of food a day. Research suggests that the increase in competition for food from other predators and the lack of prey might have been a strong factor in Megalodon's extinction. But it is said that no one can stand against the Megalodon. But if you guys think otherwise, then do let us know using the comments section below. And if you want more content from this channel in the future, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. Also, do yourself a favor and watch the 2 videos that are already on your screen right now, as they're just as good as this one. And with that, I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.